They mocked her skin, laughed at her voice, and when she finally stood up, they called her the problem. Taylor Green, a 22-year-old senior studying communications, wasn't someone who stirred drama. She believed in peace, respect, and speaking only when necessary. But her quiet strength was mistaken for weakness. In her media ethics class, a group of students constantly made passive-aggressive jokes about certain people always playing the victim, about how diversity hires ruin standards. Everyone in the room knew who they were targeting. Taylor tried to ignore it until they crossed the line. One afternoon, during a group debate, the topic turned to representation in media. Taylor made a simple point. Black voices deserve to be heard without being filtered. A boy across the table chuckled. Relax. Everything doesn't have to be about race. You people always make it personal. The class went silent. Even the professor didn't intervene. Taylor took a breath. I didn't make it personal. You did. He rolled his eyes. See, this is what I mean. So sensitive. Taylor stood up, voice shaking but firm. I'm not sensitive. I'm exhausted. Every day. You people joke like my presence is a mistake. I've earned my place here, and you will not disrespect me. The professor finally stepped in, not to stop the harassment, but to say, let's all take a break before this escalates. The next day, Taylor got an email from administration. She had been placed under review for aggressive and disruptive behavior. The student who mocked her? Nothing. No report. No warning. And by the end of the week, Taylor was suspended. She sat in her dorm that night in disbelief. Not for what was said, but for who they believed. So she decided to speak up in a different way. Taylor wrote a public post on LinkedIn titled, I got suspended for defending my dignity. She calmly shared the full story, what was said, who was involved, and how the university responded. The post exploded. Thousands of students and professionals reshared it. Black alumni wrote letters to the university. A local news station picked it up. And suddenly, Taylor wasn't just suspended, she was seen. A civil rights attorney reached out and offered pro bono representation. The university was forced to reinvestigate. 1 week later, her suspension was lifted. The professor was quietly removed from the course. But more importantly, policies were changed. Taylor used her platform to launch Voices Not Violations, a student support network to defend those who are punished for speaking truth. She now speaks at universities nationwide.